Hey guys, I'm finally going to show you how I film and edit my CardisTree videos. Get ready because this is going to be a lot of information. Now disclaimer, in no way am I saying that I am a professional on filming or editing CardisTree videos or even a professional cardist, because I'm not. I've been doing this for 2 years, which honestly isn't long, but I have significantly improved since I first started. And these are just some tips to help you at least get started or improve at least a little bit. So yeah, just trying to help. But going straight into it, we gotta talk about before filming. So before you actually film your CardisTree videos, you have to keep some things in mind. First off, what camera are you gonna use? You can use your phone or an actual camera. The camera I use is the Canon G7X Mark II. It has a flip-up screen so I can see what I'm filming. If you use your phone, you might need someone else to film, or you can get like a mirror if you're able to. If you can't have either of those, just do some test shots. If they're out of frame, refilm it. But that is annoying because you take one good take and it turns out it's out of frame. That's why I like my camera. It's got the flip-up screen, like I said. Of course, there are several other cameras, and of course, you need to figure out what settings you're gonna use. If you don't know how your camera actually works, just look up some videos on YouTube. So you also need to take into account the location. I do often film in my room because it's easiest, but sometimes I do like to try and go outside and get a new location, a new environment, a new background. Alright, so clearly I'm outside, and there's a lot more lighting and just a different background than your room. If you're filming outside, you may not want to use one of your good decks because it might get ruined. Humidity and just the temperature can really mess up your CardisTree and make it harder to do, but feel free to take the risk. So that is a con with filming outside. Now, depending on the lighting, which is what we'll get into now, most people watch a CardisTree video to see the cards. So if you can't see the cards, that's kind of an issue. Unless you're going for like some special moody effect or something, where you can do like the floating hands and then the rest of the room is completely dark and black. Now, sometimes you can't always do that, especially if you're filming on a phone. It doesn't have good low light capabilities. And make sure you also lock the exposure on your camera. I personally find it really annoying where you're trying to do a move, but then the lighting around you just keeps changing non-stop. Being outside, you'll have better lighting because the sun is always going to be more powerful than some light you have. Now, even if you're outside and it's kind of overcast and cloudy, even that's good lighting, because the sun still shines through enough to where the cards are well lit. And it's also a softer light that way. Sometimes the sun can be too bright, really harsh lighting. Now, if you aren't outside and using sunlight, you can use like window light or a lamp or even a flashlight if you have to. I personally have these LED kind of lights. There's all kinds of lighting techniques out there. Be sure to look that up on YouTube as well if you want more information. So yeah, just some lighting things to keep in mind. Another thing though before filming is that it's a good idea to have a plan of what you're going to shoot. You need to know like what moves to do, what angles you want of those moves, and what music you're going to be editing the video to. If you're not, and it's going to be like an ASMR or something, then you'll probably want to have a good microphone so audio is captured in higher quality than your camera. Usually the built-in microphone and cameras are not the best. And also, you want to make sure you wear good clothing, preferably clothing that matches the deck. For example, this yellow deck and this NASA shirt kind of match. But yeah, those are some tips before filming, which some of those tips were during filming. So during your actual filming, you'll probably get nervous, especially if this is like your first time filming. Your hands will probably be shaky. You'll probably have a lot of fails. You'll be able to edit that out later, and you'll improve over time if you just keep practicing. Okay, so also while filming, you want to take into account the frame. It's good to have different angles of a move to give different angles of a move. and some angles do look better for some moves than other moves. Like a good angle for a spring would be like straight on. A riffle fan may be top down. I try to get as much as the cards in frame as I can. Now you can also get closer shots, or you can get farther away shots. Sometimes you can get too close or too far away, or at least I do that sometimes because I'm over experimenting. And that's also why different angles will give you more room for the cards to fit the frame. Flip up screen or a mirror or just any screen where you can see the cards would be helpful if you are filming by yourself. That's why having a person to film you is better, because they can just move along with the cards. But if you have someone filming you, be sure to let them know what moves you're gonna do. They're probably just gonna point and shoot, which I mean is fine, until you do like an Ernest go around and they're still pointing down where your hand was and not following the cards. Okay, gotcha. Kind of tell them where to move the camera. If you've ever seen like a Fontaine video, which I'm sure you have, then you'll see all that camera movement. If you're just filming on a tripod, you can add a zoom effect on your footage later in editing. Okay, going into some specific steps on how I film. Of course, I get my camera set up on my tripod, go out to my location, I hit the record button, and then I do CardisTree. Now, oftentimes, it takes me several attempts to get a take of a move that I am satisfied with. Even one mess up will make me refilm the move several times because I am a perfectionist and I try and get good takes. Well, that was a good take. But yeah, if you need to refilm a move, just refilm it. And then you can cut out all of your fails later. Or if it's a funny fail, you can keep it in, like a blooper or something. Okay, so after all of that filming, it is now time for editing. Now I know some people hate editing. I'm not going to go over anything too advanced because I'm not very good at that stuff. The editing software I use is the free version of Davinci Resolve. Now that program is kind of a beast and you need a really good graphics card or processor. I'm not a computer person. This laptop you see over here is an Omen 15 with a Ryzen 7 processor or GPU. I used to edit on a Dell Intel i5 processor and it did not handle Davinci Resolve very well. I had to be very patient when trying to edit on that. So if you don't want Davinci Resolve, plenty of videos on YouTube that I'm sure will give you some good options for editing. I just like Davinci because it's free, yet it offers so many good tools. Basic editing things are just cuts, cutting to the music. What type of music? First, you want to pick out your music if you choose to have music. Obviously, the music you choose will impact the mood of the CardisTree. If you're doing like slow CardisTree, you're going to want to have slower music. If you're doing fast, intense XCM, you're going to want more intense music. Or if you want ASMR, you're going to want no music. Now, when looking for music, I personally just like to use no copyright music. You can find that all over YouTube, or there are plenty of other paid music streaming platforms like Epidemic Sound, Artlist. Now, when editing the CardisTree to the music, it is very, very important to try and edit the CardisTree to match the music. Notice how it cuts on the beat. And when you're editing, to do this, you can just spam the arrow until you hear that change in sound. That's what I do. Also with editing to the music, you don't have to cut on like the specific sound. That's good music matching, in my opinion. Some people will notice your music matching better than others. Those who do notice it will probably appreciate the video more, or at least I would. Now, often in my videos, you'll see me use a hard cut for every time I transition into a new shot. You can also use overlays to transition, but my personal opinion is that I really dislike it when people just slap on the same transition on every shot because it's repetitive and it adds nothing to the video. But I often just get really tired of like the same dissolve transition over and over again. Just no, please no. And then another good thing about editing is that you can change the speed of your clips. Now hopefully you filmed in the right frame rate. 60 frames per second or more can be slowed down and still look smooth. But if you film at like 30 or 24 frames per second, you probably shouldn't slow that down because then it'll look pretty choppy. I'll do something called speed ramping where it like starts at normal speed and then it gradually slows down and then it may gradually speed back up, things like that. And then another thing is that if you are filming on a tripod, you can use these zoom in effects to add some movement, especially going back with the music matching, that can really enhance the video. And the last thing is that you can try to adjust the colors. I'm no color grader, but I do like to just add some saturation, maybe some contrast, or maybe dial down on the contrast to give it like a more faded kind of look. But changing the color can just affect the mood of your video along with the music, because red, orange, and yellow colors give you a more warm feeling than blue, purple, or green that can give you more of like a dramatic feeling. And I think that's everything for editing. And then my last kind of tips is for uploading your videos. Instagram, YouTube, maybe even TikTok, or whatever platform you are uploading it to. I only upload to YouTube and Instagram, but to do that, what I do is I put my videos into this program called HandBrake. And what HandBrake does is it compresses the files to where it can upload faster, but it doesn't really ruin the quality too much. I mean, it will a little bit, but it's not like how Instagram would if you just put on the big old large file straight into Instagram. Instagram's really gonna compress it and make it look bad. And for thumbnails, my thumbnails are usually 50-50, but I do think some of them are pretty good. Sometimes though, I am a little lazy and I just take a screenshot from my CardisTree video and use that as my thumbnail. But other times I may actually take a picture beforehand. That is the better option to do because it's higher quality than to take a screenshot from a video. I may even Photoshop. Now, I don't actually use Photoshop because I'm cheap, so I use this program called GIMP, and it basically does the same thing as Photoshop for free. So I can like merge photos together into one and have this clone kind of effect. And then I also use Canva, which is also free, but there is a paid premium version. If I want to add text, I can add text. I can even make glowing text, which you might have seen me do before. And yeah, I think that's everything. This was a very long video. I apologize for that, but hopefully this was helpful and you got some good tips out of it. And if you like this, be sure to give it a like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions or have anything else to say. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Tweet from the birds. I don't know why I said that. Yeah. Moving on to the next shot.